All right, everybody, on behalf of Professional Title, I want to welcome you guys to Data is the New Gold. And some people find this nerdy data stuff really exciting, and some people don't. However, I will tell you from doing this in a couple of our other markets, this has probably been the class that's yielded the biggest results for people and allowed them to have some one-on-one opportunities to build their business. Whether you're on here as a real estate agent or a lender, I know we have some of both on here. There's some huge opportunities for both of you guys on here. We're going to explain those today. I'm going to show you how to get access to the tool that we're going to use. It is about 95% free. So all the valuable lists and stuff that I show you today, I'm showing everything that's free. I'll point out things that cost money, but pretty much everything we're going to talk about today is free. We're going to walk through some screenshots of what it actually looks like in action. And then I'm going to give you some real world applications of what I would use this for. I had a conversation with one of our, actually our best rep or our best selling title insurance rep down here. And she was kind of amazed too at how much of this stuff we have for free. And to be honest, I was also, and Jason's on the call and knows that I even called and asked him and some of the owners of this if I'm doing something wrong, because this much stuff shouldn't be free. So take advantage of this while you can. If you're someone that has a cold caller on your team, maybe an inside salesperson, if you're looking to hit the phones or even do mailings and build your business, this is going to be a great opportunity for you today. And I think one of the biggest things about this, and I talk about this a little bit more in the slides, but data really gives us the ability to, number one, create a predictable business, and number two, get to that business early. And if you've been involved in real estate here for the last year or 18 months, you'll know the market is crazy. And a lot of times, if you're working on a seller, as soon as they list, it's gone right away. And if you're working with a buyer, if they don't have amazing urgency and if they're not really following, your playbook, it's really difficult to get a closing right now. So it's nice that we can sell something really quickly on the listing side. But the tool that we're going to cover today is really going to give you the insight on how to find these leads earlier. And I really believe that if you find them earlier, it gives you the leverage before everybody else gets in there and just scoops up that low-hanging fruit. So again, I know data isn't always exciting for everybody, but this kind of stuff I nerd out on. And I really hope you guys get some excitement out of this too, because I think there's a really, really huge opportunity here for you guys. So we just did a little intro. I'm going to tell you what we're going to use this data for, how we can help realtors, how we can help lenders. I'm going to show you screenshots of exactly how to actually get the data once you get signed on. And then I'm going to give you the process on what you have to do to be able to get access. This is something that you have to work with us or work through us to get access on. Everybody on the call is invited to use it. We're not holding it back from anybody, but you do have to get an account set up, and we have to do that for you. So at the end of this, I'm going to include my email, and I'm going to have Cindy and Ken throw their email in as well. And I'm going to ask you guys to connect with us, and we'll set up like 15-minute little strategy sessions on what the strategy is on this data for you and how we can get you access to it over the coming days, because I know there's a lot of people on the call, and I want to make sure you guys get that attention one-on-one to make sure we get it to where you want it. So most of you guys I know by now. Those of you that I don't, my name is Ryan McHugh. I work with Professional Title with Cindy and Kent, as well as our parent company, Landcastle Title. I have been a single agent. I have ran the largest team in the state. I've ran one of the biggest franchises in the state. And now all I do is work with you guys to help you grow your business. And we kind of believe that if we help you grow your business, provide you these ideas, teach you the new ways to get leads, all the new strategies and all that fun stuff, that naturally, because we helped you with it, you're going to give us that business back. And a lot of you already have, so we appreciate that. And if there's anything we can do to earn your business, let us know. But I have to tell you, if this tool doesn't do it, I don't know how much more ammo I got, because this to me is pretty amazing. So let's dive in here. If you are a real estate professional, you need data, period. And if you don't think you need data, if you were on my call last week where we talked about, do you need social media? Is it an option? Is it mandatory? Moving forward, big data is taking over every industry, whether it's the financial services industry. It's been in that space for a while. It could be the restaurant industry. It could be the retail industry. But the real estate industry is prime right now for picking with people that really want to take advantage of using large chunks of data and turn those into business. And the people that adapt this now at an early level are really going to be given the opportunity to shine, because although a lot of these things have been around for years, we've had this tool for a while, it's been updated a handful of times. Although these things have been around for a while, people are still not taking advantage of it. They're grabbing the low-hanging fruit. And the truth is, most realtors don't really want to work. They don't want to put in the effort. But to me, what we're going to talk about today is really something that if you do put in the effort now, you're going to see the fruits of your labor here for a long time coming. And I really think, the handful of you guys that are on the call here have a running head start against people that don't even know that this stuff exists or aren't going to adapt. So I always kind of ask you guys to have an action step or what you're going to do when you leave the call, or give you some homework and, kind of play around with that. But as we go through this call today, I just hope you guys realize how powerful this data is. We've been waiting a couple of weeks and putting this together to make sure we teach it correctly for you, but I don't want you to skip this or just put this in the memory bank as a good idea. This is something that really can change your business right now, especially if you don't have the listings that you want right now, or the closings that you want right now. So what we use data for, number one, is to know what your customers need. Number two is to understand investment trends. And there's a great tool in what I'm going to show you that shows the comps. It'll show automatically, it'll show 20 comps at a time. It'll show where things are trending, what's going on in the area, foreclosure activity in the area. It really shows where the right investment is and where the market is trending right now. And while we know we can all pull that off MLS, or we can create custom searches or do the RPR thing or whatever, a lot of the services that are just click a button and spit out automated data, the detail that is provided in these reports is more than anything I've ever seen. And some of you guys know I ran a big team before, and I was telling Jason and Cindy and Kent and some of our people that, like, if I would have had this tool years ago, first of all, we would have saved a ton of money, and B, we would have done double the volume, because we used to pay between $250 a list all the way up to $1,200, $1,500, $1,700 to get some of this stuff that we're going to unlock today for you guys for free and give you the ability to conquer it like nobody else is. So data also allows you to know who your future customers are and generate leads earlier than ever before. So a lot of us kind of react. We're in the reaction game in real estate. We throw a bunch of stuff on the wall. We hope something sticks, and we get the low hanging fruit. We get the people that raise their hand or tell us, yes, they're ready to sell. But at that point, they might be interviewing multiple agents, or maybe we missed them, right? How many times have we, as a realtor, I know I've done this 1,000 times, watched one of our friends or someone in our database buy or sell a house without us, and we get mad at them naturally, but really it's our fault for not following up or catching them at the right time. The tool that we're working with today and some of the information and examples that I'm going to give you is going to help you pick those people out earlier than before, where you're the only one in the game. You don't have competition. You're not worried about who's interviewing. You're going to get there earlier. And in real estate, they say that 50% of the battle is just getting in the door first. People that get in the door first, 50% of the time they get the listing, not even arguing against somebody else, competing against someone else, going on other appointments. So I feel like if we can get you guys in the door or on the Zoom or whatever it is that you're doing right now, I think it's going to give you the opportunity to do more business, to do it earlier, and to be less stressed about it when that business does come up. So kind of the way I look at it is more and better data is going to equal better predictions. And the better we're able to predict things, the better we're going to do with leads, right? And we all know the more leads we get, the more money we make. So just like anything else, it takes a lot of leads at the top of the funnel to kind of scroll its way down and work towards the bottom that turns it into closings for you guys and for us, right? Our business models are the same. You guys have to go out there and get leads. You guys have to work buyers and sellers. We have to work real estate agents and lenders. The more leads we get, the more closings we get. The more closings we get, the more money you make, the more money we make. It's the exact same model. And whenever I'm teaching these classes, I don't really have title rep hat on. As I joke all the time, I'm really crappy at being a title rep, but I always have the realtor hat on and think, okay, how can I use this to make more money? Because I believe if we help you guys make the more money, you're going to send those deals to Cindy and Kent. And naturally, that's what's going to make us more money. So the real estate agent of the future is going to work the data that's at their fingertips to grow their business, not just to keep it the same. Right? We're either growing and moving forward, or we're not. We're declining and moving backwards. And whatever direction you're going in, you're never standing still. I know it may feel like that in the moment, in the hour, in the day, but you're either growing and building a business, or it's declining and slipping away while somebody else is stealing it. So some options that we have for data, this is just scratching the surface, but I wanted to squeeze as many onto a page as we could and kind of explain them. So for realtors, the first thing I want to mention is the single property reports. This is great if you're working with anyone that's raised their hand and said that they're thinking about selling. So if you're talking to someone that might be a listing down the road, maybe someone, the neighbor, somebody told you, hey, Joe Smith down the road is thinking about selling. Maybe it's someone that's contacted you or that's been in your database and you know they're a long time out. Or maybe you're going on a listing appointment today and you need the best data available so you can have the most information you can gather right away and be able to go on that appointment. We have a single property report piece for that, totally free. I'm going to show you some of the screenshots of what it gives, but it gives everything from the basic stuff, right? When the house was bought, what kind of loan is on it, who they use for financing, but then it gets more advanced. It instantly gives you 20 comps, the most recent 20 comps that are within the same subdivision or the same area as that property. So it really removes a lot of the work from you as the agent on the comp side. It gives you school information that's more detailed than anything I've ever seen before. The one I pulled yesterday for an example we were doing in a class, it showed you how many students were in each grade in each of the high schools and what the ratio for staff member to students are. So while as realtors, we really have to be careful with steering and pushing people to schools, we can provide the data. We can be that person that gives the resource to allow them to make their own decisions, make their own judgments, and place their kids, or their family members or whoever it is, wherever they want. And we have that data at your fingertips with this. On top of that, we get all the contact information, all the other fun stuff that usually goes with that, but some really amazing information in that single property reports. Absentee owners. So the reason I wanted to bring this one up is some of you guys were on that call with me I think it was about 6 weeks ago. We did it where we did absentee owners and how to find them through the MLS. And if you did that and you looked into that, I'm sure that you agree with me that it's tedious, right? Doing it one at a time through the MLS or through IMAP or through the tax records. It takes a lot of time. It's very frustrating. It's hard to gather information. It's a lot of work, to spit out one result, and then we have to do it all over again. And most people that do that at a high level through IMAP or through the MLS will look at this and say, okay, I'm going to work all day Tuesday to set up my list so that I can make 2 hours of calls Wednesday. This completely removes that. I'm going to give you an example of absentee owners when I show my screenshots later. So just hang in there for that one. I'll show you an actual example. Cash buyers. These are people that have proven to buy houses cash. So this is essentially a list that you can generate of investors. So if you come across a deal that is distressed, or maybe is not going to qualify for financing, or might be a good flip, this is your opportunity to send it out to those people, blast it out to them, and get an investor client where you might be able to make money on the buy and give us the title, and then make money on the sell and give us the title. So it gives you guys double dipping opportunities in there. And it gives you the opportunity to pitch a deal to someone that might not even know you exist yet, and build a relationship over a long period of time with us as your title company, with the investor as the title company, and with you being able to provide them something that nobody else has. ARM reset. So that's the adjustable rate mortgages reset. And the reason that this is important is because when that adjustable rate resets, a lot of times people are kind of hit in the face with that. And they're like, oh my God, what the heck do I do now? And for some of them, it's just a refi. And if we can help you with that, or you can help, hook up your lender with that, great. But a lot of them say, man, it's time to get out of this, right? It's time to cash out. Maybe I bought the house 5 years ago. I was on a 5-year adjustable, and now the rates are way lower than they were then. Maybe I want to sell this and move up, or sell this and move down, or whatever it is. But that is a real great trigger point for data that allows us to make a call that we're truthfully helping them. And they most of the time don't even know it's coming and don't really know what to do when it hits there because they weren't thinking about it. Auction and sale date, this and pre-foreclosure. Both of these give us the opportunity to get in on something before other people are seeing it. So imagine if you knew the auction date of the next 100 homes that were going to be auctioned off in your county or in your city, and you could provide that to investors that you work with or potential investors as clients. You're giving them data that nobody else has. And when you do that, you're strengthening a relationship where they're going to continuously come back to you. And then if they buy that house, opportunity to make money there, right? Then they're going to list that house, opportunity to make money there. And then they're going to come back to you for more business. So, 2 and 3 times opportunity on each one of these. Estimated equity. Love this one. This is basically saying if you bought a house, at X time, how much equity should you have built up if you just made the minimum payment and you actually made payments all the way up here? So great opportunity now when rates are down. I know they ticked up a little bit over the last week, but they're still down historically, over what people bought houses for in 2008, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. The rates are still way lower. And we know they've built equity. The market has gone up. And if they've made payments, for 5, 8, 10, 12 years, opportunity there for a move up buyer, move down buyer. Free and clear own. These are great leads because these are the people that have paid off the mortgage. So we know if we get in touch with them, they can sell and cash out. And there are some people that believe we are at the top of the top of the top of the real estate market right now. And it's a good call to make and say, hey, I know you own your property. I see that you paid it off in December 2020. A lot of people think we're at the top of the market. Just curious if you ever thought about selling, cashing out on that investment, taking your return. HELOC, these are people that did home equity line of credit. Basically, that's when you take a loan against your house for something. A lot of times people use it to finance big things in the house. So they might be doing it to do a kitchen, to do a bathroom, to do a roof. And sometimes they just use it to pay off debt. But knowing that they're there, opportunity for you as lenders, opportunity for you as realtors to start a conversation. The absentee owners we're going to dive into more in a minute. Out-of-state owners, this is a great opportunity right now because especially with COVID still limiting travel, and it might not be as bad in your area as you see in other places around the country or around the world, But I have a friend right now that's just attacking Canada on this because Canada is very limited in what they can do in travel. And they have some people that haven't been able to come to their, snowbird kind of style home now in over a year. And they're thinking, hey, I have this asset sitting there. I'm paying HOA, I'm paying taxes, I'm paying maintenance, I'm paying utilities. Who knows if I'm ever going to get back there, when it's going to be safe, or when I'm allowed to do so. And when I do that, am I even going to be able to get back into my country? And what tax issues is that going to cause? And what citizenship issues is that going to cause? Great opportunity right now to grab some easy listings from people that are 1,200 miles away and need the help. And negative equity, not a ton of these out there, but these are great short sale candidates, which we can help with. So this, again, is just scratching the surface. I'll show you some more when we actually get into the program here, but I just wanted to kind of tease you with those. And then for lenders, a couple, this is not even 10% of them, but I know we never have as many lenders on the call. So just real quick, adjustable loans and ARM reset. We talked about that. Great opportunity for lenders for refis. These are slam dunk refis, right? If you call someone and say, hey, saw you bought a house 5 years ago for $400,000 and your payment is $3,000 and your rate is 5%. If you say yes right now, I can get you a rate of 3% and your payment goes down, I don't know, $500. Who's saying no? It's easy, slam dunk for a lender. Lender specific, we have some lenders that are saying, well, I know I have a better package than Chase, or I know I have a better package than Wells. And if someone did a deal with Wells 5 years ago, I can call them right now, give them the exact same deal or cheaper, and be able to save them some money or give them a better rate. So they're attacking that. PMI refi, this is when the equity is coming close to being due and people want to get that PMI, that private mortgage insurance, off of the loan to save them money. And a lot of times it allows them to switch from FHA to conventional, change up their terms, change up their rates. And VA qualified, anybody that's ever worked with VA or veterans, there's some great packages out there for veterans. These are lists of people that qualify for VA that we can help, right? We can give them opportunities. So I just want to show you a couple of the ways that this data spits out. It's nice and easy to see on a screen because the orange and the blue, as they rotate, those are different clients. So just so you can kind of see what you get with some of these different reports, I'll show you a couple different versions of it before I dive into the screenshots and show you how we actually get it. But if you look at this one, is like for a farming. If you were wanting to do a farming or a direct mail campaign, you can pull a neighborhood or a subdivision and get every address, where they live, the owner's names, and just be able to run this off and print this off just like a mailing label. So if you wanted to do a direct mailing shot, if you wanted to door knock maybe in the area and gather data, this is one tool that you can do it with. This one is that comp machine, or that comp pulling thing I was talking about. So this neighborhood, you can see it pulls all of the sales prices. You can see the recorded date, all of them within a year, 2020 and 2021. Your sale price per square foot. So it does all the hard work on the comps for you. Instead of manually entering these in the MLS and using the compare tool and finding all them, this just does the work for you. And I didn't have to click anything extra for this. This is in the single property report. One click, probably 30, maybe 45 seconds once you know how to do this. Nice and quick and easy. This one is the neighbors report. So I think this is pretty cool. And investors like this a lot. Where they can see, okay, who owns the property? Who owns the properties next to me? Are they rented? Is it an LLC? What does the square footage look like? All the information you want from them. You can see that one. Another version, this is that public school report I was telling you about. You can see student to teacher ratio, how many staff members they have, how many kids they have in each grade level, how close they are to the property, what level the school is at, is it zoned for them? Lots of great options on here. And this one is one of the phone number pulls one. So I did this one for an agent that we were talking about how to attack absentee owners and who to go after. So if you look at the blue box, the very top of it, you'll see it says delinquent taxes, yes. And then at the bottom of the blue, you'll see absentee owned, but in state. And then kind of in the middle where it says other, you'll see landline phone number and what their landline is. Then if you switch over to the orange, same thing, you're going to see delinquent on taxes, yes, absentee owner, in state. And then you'll see owner phone number, cell phone. So this is a report that this specific search, what we did was we took all of Palm Beach County. We looked at who was an in-state absentee owner and who was delinquent on taxes, at least back through 2020. So the 21 data for taxes isn't out yet because they're not, totally due yet. But this is, so they're at least a year delinquent on taxes, and there's the phone number right there to call them, as well as the address. So nice and easy to be able to grab some data on this. And this is another version of the export. So if you use a dialer, hopefully only the single one, because that's what's still legal. or if you're using a CRM like maybe Sync or Real Geeks or anything like that, or if you're using any kind of a program where you want people working off a CSV or a spreadsheet, this is what one of the exports looks like and gives you the opportunity to be able to export that data, determine if it's a cell phone or a landline, and then be able to attack them. So what I love about this one is cell phone, you can text, not mass text, right? But we can text. So it gives us an opportunity for a different way to generate leads and contact people. All right, onward. So how to get it. I say for free / cheap because there are some things in here that you have to pay for, and I'll show you those. They're highlighted by a tab that says premium. It's in like a money green kind of color with a $ next to it. But all the data that I just showed you guys, every one of those pieces was done for free. And all the data that I've been kind of testing this on and that I've used in the past to run big teams and big offices has been totally free for sure. So there are some upgrades and some stuff that you can pay for. But truthfully, most of what you need and most of what you're going to be able to do some damage with and get on offense with really is free. And honestly, I haven't ran into a realtor yet that's asked for something or that I've worked with that's ended up costing money. So I feel like we're beating the system here, but take it while you get it, right? All right, so here's kind of how you do it. You're going to schedule some time to talk to your rep. So that's either Cindy or Kent. So Cindy and Kent, if you guys could throw in the chat your email and the areas that you service. I know most of us kind of know each other, but just in case someone isn't sure who's who, just throw that in. So the first thing you want to do is connect with them. And then they're going to connect you with me for a little 15-minute one-on-one. And what we'll do is just a strategy session where I'll kind of ask you what your goals are, what lists or what data you're looking to use. We'll get you set up on an account, and then I'll show you how to do that. So to stay compliant, we can't pull this data and send it to you and do the work for you. However, what I want to do is get with you to ensure your success on this. And we can do that through Zoom and be able to get you set up where you can get this data and pull it for yourself. So then you're going to pull the necessary data for your business. You don't need to go on there and pull all the data in the world, right? You're going to pull what your strategy plan is, and then we're going to get on the offense. And if you want to schedule a second one-on-one or get back in touch, with strategy or scripts or anything like that, we can do that. And then you're going to close your deals out with us at Professional, of course. So you'll send those deals back to Cindy and send those deals back to Kent, and then rinse and repeat, right? And forever, as long as we have this tool available for you guys and you're using us at Professional, this gives you an opportunity to have the data ahead of time. So Cindy and Kent will throw their emails in the chat, and I'll throw my email in the chat at the end too, so we can do it. And I'm going to give you a little rundown on how simple it is, and then we'll kind of reconvene at the end with a little summary. So this is kind of what the platform looks like. And when you first go in across the top, you're going to see 4 things. One of them says home, which is the screen we're on. One of them says reports. One of them says documents. And one of them says lists. The only section that I've noticed that is pay to play is the document section. That is 100% pay to play. But I personally have not came up with a reason as to why I would need that section, to be totally honest with you. So all the other stuff, as we go through this, I'm going to show you all the free options. The version that I like the most is the lists, because Title Pro and us, we've been able to work together to put together the things that we know that realtors need. So I'm going to show you the ones that we've kind of specialized and customized for you guys. And most of them you're going to recognize from a couple slides back when we were just talking about them. So once we're at the home page and we click on list, this is kind of our screen. And this works in a very sequential order. So it's left to right, just like you would read. And to me, it's extremely logical, where once you learn how to do this once, which you'll learn in our little one-on-one, it is very simple to do. We could always jump back on and help you, but I mean, it is very, very simple to use, to filter out. On the top, you'll see lists, farm lists, and you'll see premium with the $. Everything that we're going to do now is free. And if you go into premium, there's some advanced filters that cost some money. So across the top of the list, we have geography, we have map, property, mortgage, demographics, distress, and other. I'll go into all of those, but the way I've kind of been teaching everybody is to use these instant lists that we've built out. So when I get you set up on this thing, there's like the most popular lists that I think you should use are already in there. They're built out, they're ready to go. So you don't have to guess, you don't have to try to figure this out. We did the legwork for you to make this thing as easy as possible, so it's as user-friendly as possible. So when you click on the instant list part, it's going to bring you to a screen that looks like this, and you're going to see a lot of options. And most of these you're going to see that we talked about, right? Adjustable loans, ARM reset, cash buyers, commercial property stuff, distressed property stuff. Downsizing prospects, kind of creepy to me because I don't even know how the heck they know this, but they know when the kids have moved out of the house. So if there's 2 adults in there and their kids have changed their mailing address or moved to a different address, it spits us out that data. So we know, hey, you have a big house and you have 2 extra bedrooms. sell that thing and get out of there, right? Gives us an awesome opportunity. Estimated equity, FHA identified, owned, free and clear, HELOC reset. So whenever the reset comes in for your loan, insurance prospects, not really for us, right? But don't worry about that one. Lender specific, so that was the Chase or Wells example. Mortgage consolidation, mortgage loan rate and term reduction. So these are people for possible refis. Move up buyers, new homeowners, absentee owned. And this list does continue to go, but these are kind of the top ones that I've set up for you guys so that you know, these are kind of like my suggestions, I guess you could call them, to try to make it as easy as possible for you. So when we move on and we pick one of these lists, what you'll see is, I know it's tough to see on here, but if you look at the very bottom where it says ownership, absentee owned, that's the one I'm going to pick for this example. And you'll see me kind of work through this example here. And again, you can use any one you want. But personally, I just think there's a great opportunity with absentee owners right now. So I'm using that as an example. So when I pick absentee owners, then I'm going to go to geography and I want to pick where it is that I want to work. So you might service your whole county. You might service a certain zip code, maybe only a certain neighborhood. This is your opportunity to filter that down however you want. And my suggestion is, don't set yourself up with a list that is so big that you're just never going to tackle and you're going to look at and be overwhelmed. I'd rather you start with a small list where you can be effective, create systems, and then grow. So this list that we're doing here, the example, I did this for an agent and it ended up with 187 leads in there. And to me, that's manageable. That's like one good day of work is 187 dials. Really probably a half a day if you're, flying and efficient. So don't set yourself up with a list that's 500,000 people, because we both know, all of us know, that we're never going to get through that. But if you give yourself a target list of 150 or 200 or 250, that you could really put your head down and bang it out in a day. So geography first, whatever it is that you want to pick. I just started with the county just to kind of give you guys the numbers. So if you pick a county, and all the counties in Florida are in there, it brings us back 142,735. So this is saying that in Palm Beach County, there are 142,735 homes that are absentee owned. When we go to the next piece is the map, and you have the ability to polygon this. So if there's a certain geographic area that you want to work, you can use that and kind of, scratch it out and come up with your own map wherever it is that you want to work. Or if you want to just narrow it down to a city, instead of doing county like I did, you might want to just start with a city and make it small and manageable. But you'll see on the right side, total count, 142,735. When we go to property, you're going to see a bunch of opportunities here. These are some pretty good detailed filters that you can use. You don't need to use these, but if you want to target certain things, this is really great if you have a buyer in the pipeline. So we've talked about this a little bit before. Let's say you're looking for a property in Daytona Beach and you needed to have a garage, and you needed to have 3 bedrooms and 2 bathrooms. You can filter by all these things and then get that contact information and give them a call. And it shows your buyer that you're working for them off market to get them opportunities that nobody else has. Because we know when something goes on the market, it's sold in 10 seconds. And if your buyer is not, the best position, or maybe their financing isn't that great, or their terms aren't great, or whatever it is, and they just keep missing out. If any of you have had deals be missed out on the last couple months, you're not alone, but this is a way to use this tool to get around that. So we can filter by all these different things in property. There's tons of options for them. There's even odd and even. That's the odd and even numbers. So if you're into the feng shui buyers and sellers, you can even filter through that. There's some crazy filters on here that you guys can really dive in and filter this data however you want. Then we can go over to mortgage, and we can search for people that have first liens, second liens, that have only a certain percentage of loan to value. Maybe they've used a certain kind of lender, or how much equity they actually have in a property. Maybe they have a reverse mortgage on them and we want to help these people sell and get out. Tons of different mortgage options in here that we can go through. Then we can go to demographics. It's crazy that this is even allowed to me, but it is, right? Because we know usually in real estate, we're always talking about fair housing and all that stuff that we can't, steer or push people because any of these things, but we can use them as search criteria because it's real data, right? If someone lives in the house and they are, a 30-year-old woman with income over 100,000 who's single, maybe that's our filter. That's who we want to target for whatever our marketing campaign is. So we have the opportunity to filter by age, ethnicity, gender, income, marital status, occupation, and do they have children living on the property or not. Then probably my favorite of all the filters is the distressed one. So we can go on to distressed and we can search or filter by delinquent taxes, which is what I did for the example that I'm going to show you, foreclosure or implied short sale, meaning they're either missing payments or they're negative equity. So we can kind of attack whatever it is we want, and create a marketing strategy that's specific just to that. So I chose delinquent taxes for this example. I'm going to highlight it there, and then it'll be yes or no. So I can filter yes, I only want people with delinquent taxes, or no, I don't want to deal with tax payments or helping them figure out their taxes. When I choose yes, you'll see my search on the right side updated, and it knocked me down to 11,827. So we went from whatever the number was, 142,000 down to 11,827. So good narrow down there, but still kind of an unmanageable list, right? We're not printing out 11,000 pages of record, and realistically, we're not calling that many. So we can go to other, and other has a lot of hidden gems in there. So this has complete mailing address, meaning this is absentee owner, remember. So we know the property address, but how do we know the mailing address? We do with this filter. We have complete owner name if you're searching specifically for a property owned by someone or an LLC. We have the do not call list and the do not mail list. So if that's something you want to pay attention to and filter with, we have those as filters. We have owner phone type, which is the one that I'm going to use here in a second and show you guys. That allows us to choose cell phones only, landlines only, or both. We have owner type, standard site address. I'm going to be honest, I don't know what that means. And surname, which I don't really know why that's relevant to this, but it's there. So when I pick owner phone type, I chose phone numbers, includes landline and cell numbers. I hit add, and if you notice on the bottom right, my count now goes down to 187. So we know that this is a very filtered set of data, right? I have 187 people who own a property in Palm Beach County. However, they're an absentee owner, but they still live in Florida. So they have a second address in Florida. They have attached to the data a real cell phone number or a real landline, and they're delinquent on taxes. So I have a pretty specific data target that I can create marketing here, which is always a plus. And when I call them, I can come up with a script that I'm not guessing, right? If I call the yellow pages, if I call the expireds, I'm trying to blanket everybody into one group. When I call this group, I know they have another property in state. I know they're delinquent on their taxes. I know I'm getting the right phone number, right? And if I filtered it by more, maybe I filtered ones that have 3 bedrooms and a garage, I know exactly who I'm calling. And that gives you the power, right? They don't know they're on that list. It's similar to a Facebook list. They don't know they're on this list, but you do. And that's where the power is. So I chose phone numbers, include cell and landline numbers. I hit add, and then I get another set of filters. So if I hit next or save on the bottom right there, I get another set of filters. And this is kind of the way that I can print them out. So if you ever printed things out on the MLS, you have that full detail option, which gives you all the details of the property and ends up making you print hundreds of pages. To me, that's too much to look at, right? If I'm making calls, or if I'm setting up an inside salesperson to make calls, or I'm going after data, I know what the filters are. I don't necessarily care about the pictures of the house. Truthfully, I don't even necessarily care what town they're in or what the actual address is. It doesn't matter. I'm just trying to get an appointment. So you can narrow this down more. So for me, I like the one that says export outputs. It's the second option next to the farm report printout there. And when you click on that, it gives you a bunch of options so you can create your own template with how you like to look at data. And all of us like to look at data in different ways. And this allows you to customize that. So you'll see kind of the default is absentee owned, because that's what we're in for a search. APN, no idea what that means. City, county name, delinquent taxes, because we picked that. Detailed property type. So is it single family? Is it a condo? Is it vacant land? Is it mobile home, manufactured, whatever? FIPS code, also honestly don't know what that means. Owner name formatted. So how do you want it formatted? What type of phone is it? Is it a cell phone or is it a landline? And then that number, the property address, the state, and the zip. So you can kind of customize these however you want. And where it's a select template, you can save this as a template. So if you have a dialer or a CRM or a piece of technology that only accepts data in a certain way, you can just build it out on here so that you don't have to keep doing it every time. You have that created for you. And then when you go to save it, it's going to look like this. You're going to get 3 options. And for those of you that don't download or do big files like this, I just want you to write this down. XLSX and CSV are both forms of spreadsheets. So if you're importing something into a CRM, into a dialer, into anything that accepts data as a spreadsheet, you're going to use one of those 2. And if you're doing the old-fashioned style where you want to print it out and have someone, call them down and make notes, then we're going to do PDF. So basically think P for PDF, think printer P also. And if you're doing spreadsheet for data, then do XLSX and CSV. Jason, who is much smarter than me, just said APN means appraisal parcel number. Thank you. Didn't know that. You can sort them by letter case. So meaning, do you want it to look like an actual letter, like it's going on a letter? So first name spelled correctly with the capitalized, last name spelled correctly with the capitalized. Labels, so if you're building out a mailing list, and a cover sheet. So if you're kind of doing this like as a presentation, you can put that out. And then you can hit download, and this thing will get to work for you. It will add them to your cart. Again, this is free. So don't think cart like Amazon, you know, that you have to pay for this right now. If you do what I just did, totally free. And then in the top right, you'll see cart. In the kind of peachy, salmony, orangey kind of color, you'll see cart. And when we click into cart, it's going to show us what we're working on. So these were some of the searches I was working on the day that I did these screenshots. And you'll see some of them say view order or email order. So that's when it's completed. And the top one says processing, which means it's working on it. The bigger list that you have, the more time it takes to process. So a list like this, that's, I don't know, 187, I think it was, usually only takes a couple minutes. If you download a list that's 10,000, it could take hours, right? So be patient with it. But when it is done, you'll be able to look at this and it will just switch over to view order and you'll be able to actually access it. So when we click on view order, we'll get an email that says, hey, your list is done. And then we'll be able to choose again what format we want it in. So I picked PDF, but for those of you that are not familiar with like converting formats and documents, trust me and just do it in this program, because if you try to do it outside of the program and you don't know what you're doing, it's really not fun. So you can convert here to CSV or PDF or whatever one it is, and then it spits you out that report. And this is what it looks like. So this is the exact search of what we just did. I did delinquent taxes at the top near the blue line. We did absentee owned in state, so towards the bottom where that blue line is. If you'll remember, we picked landline and cell phone numbers, so you'll see that kind of in the middle under other, and then all the other information is there for that property. So you can either use this as a PDF, print it out and start running down this and making your notes, or you could print it out as a CSV, which is, or download it as a CSV, which is what this one looks like, and be able to do the same thing, but import it somewhere if you're pulling in data. So I will stay on for questions, but if you want access, this is not something that you can like figure out on your own. We have to give you the access to it. And everybody that's on the call, you will get the access to it, but you have to do it kind of our way. This is one of those things that it's just, you have to do it because we have to get you set up. There's actually an account that we need to build out and make for you, which we will do. So what I'm asking you to do is, number one, contact your rep. So contact Cindy or Kent. And then they'll connect you with me to set up a one-on-one. And for real, it'll only be like 15 minutes. You don't need to block an hour for this. We'll get some of your basic information. We'll come up with a quick strategy for you. I'll give you an idea of a script that you can use to kind of attack this data and these numbers. And then use us at Professional for your title work, and we'll all be happy and we can keep this thing moving on. So hopefully today this helped you guys understand, first of all, the power of data. Second of all, the power of working with Professional, because we have this as a phenomenal tool for you that other people, I mean, I could list you other products and you can go see what they're paying for this. Look at things like Mojo, Vulcan 7, RedX, Landvoice. I just got a call from Landvoice the other day. The cheapest list you can get right now from them, $7.99. So you can get these lists for free. So hopefully today this helped you guys understand the power of that data and what we can do for you at Professional. As you know, this is one of just many tools on top of the other 10 million things that we offer you guys. But if you want to do this, start reaching out to Cindy and Kent. We'll get these one-on-ones set up this week. And that way we can connect you and get you on here. And we'll give you that little strategy one-on-one session to be able to make sure that you're using this to the highest value. If you have somebody that you think would benefit from this, that missed out on the call, or maybe it's a lender that you partner with, or this is a great value add for you as a realtor. If you have a lender that maybe you partner with and get advertising dollars or money from, hook them up with Cindy and Kent. I'll get on a call with them and we can, provide some value to them as well, because we can help them with refis and closings as well. So Kara, thanks as always for the slides and making everything look nice and making my grammar nice and making me seem presentable. If you want the replay, as soon as this is over with, I will start attacking the replay. It usually takes a little bit because these files are pretty big, but Cindy and Kent will have it by tonight for sure, probably a little bit earlier than that. Thank you guys, of course, for your business at Professional. Like I said, we know a lot of you are already working with us, so we surely appreciate that. Over the next coming months, I'm going to start being able to do some one-on-ones in person and some small group stuff in person with you guys. So Cindy and Kent know my schedule for that. I'm trying to start traveling up towards you guys, each different market on Fridays to help out. Other than that, one last thing. Next week, same time, same place, Tuesdays at 2, 10 tips to supercharge your social strategy. This is all going to be about boosting presence on social media. It will pretty much all be free stuff. We're not going to really talk about ads or anything. All free strategies. And there are I built this class out over the last 2 weeks, and there are 1 or 2 things in there that I guarantee you guys are not doing. So get registered for that. Cindy and Kent have the link for that. Anything else we can do for you, let us know. And thank you guys for being on. Told you we'd have you off a little bit early. So if you do have any questions, I'm going to kill the recording now, and I will answer